mandatory minicamp, when you get to training camp, when you get deeper into this process where more and more is being asked of these guys, and Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan now, the new GM, and Andy Weidel and everybody else are really going over performances with a fine-tooth comb. And I think that makes sense given the franchise we're talking about, Josh. This is the Steelers, where Ben Roethlisberger, up until Charlie Batch hurt his knee, and then Tommy Maddox got knocked out of a game. Ben Roethlisberger, a guy with all due respect to Kenny Pickett, who had a lot more natural ability, was just kind of a freak as far as what he could do physically, how big he was, etc. He was still penciled in as third on the depth chart. And then you consider the fact that Kenny Pickett was not a top 10 pick, was not a top 5 pick. He was the 20th pick. He was the first quarterback off the board. I think it makes a little bit more sense that a guy who's a veteran, if an underwhelming one, still probably holds that job at least at the outset of the season. I also don't know if the Steelers, I'm not going to put words in their mouths, but I think unless Pickett just knocks everybody's socks off, if it's more like a close race, my guess is that the Steelers, if you gave them truth serum in that situation, would say, yeah, you know what, it's probably better that Mitch maybe takes some lumps early in the season because that schedule looks tough, and then Kenny maybe has a smoother runway midway through the season when the pressure's a little bit off and maybe the schedule softens a little bit.
All right, let's go to Susan, who's on the line in Oakland, Maryland. Susan, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yes, I'd like to say about the hockey game. I really believe the Rangers are very dirty. I think that the Hurricanes have played a good game all through the series. And then I look back at the Penguins because I like the Penguins really a lot. And the Penguins, they got Crosby got hit by Trouba, and also he got hit by Reeves in the back. And I'll tell you what, I about had it with hockey. I think it looks worse than football. And I think, I mean, this is ridiculous how that Trouba is getting, over it. Like
Nothing's happening to him, Susan.
What's that?
Nothing. The problem is with football, if Jacob Trouba was a football player hitting the big-name quarterback in the league, Roger Goodell would get a poison blow dart out at every stadium if he wasn't punished already, and they would get Jacob Trouba and make sure it never happened again. Our buddy Bernard Pollard, a man who once took out Tom Brady in Week 1 with a low hit into the knee, he did that.
Yes.
He probably paved the way. Let's be honest here, everybody. He probably paved the way for the Steelers to win Super Bowl 43 because with Brady on that team in 2008, they were going revenge year after that previous year's Super Bowl, ruined their undefeated season. What was the NFL's response? You're not allowed to hit quarterbacks anymore unless it's they basically came up with a strike zone about right here to about your knee to about, I don't know, your mid-thigh area. Mm-hmm. And so everyone complains about it. They say you're ruining the sanctity of the game. How are you supposed to play defense? But guess what? People still watch the NFL in ever-increasing numbers, it seems, because they protect the stars, who are the ones people come out to see and pay a lot of money to see.
Can I say one thing? I'd just like to say, we were 3-1, the Penguins, and then we get hit like that, and we're out of it.
It sure felt like that, Susan. Thanks for the call. Here's what we're going to do right now, Chris, because Susan's call was that good. We're going to go right now and call her our number one Cochran Go One Better call of the night, because Susan broke it down pretty well, talking about Jacob Trouba and the series against the Penguins and how it all shook out. Chris, I thought you followed up beautifully with how the NFL quickly acted to make sure things like this don't happen again. You both summed it up better than I possibly could. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Well, I mean, I think those leagues understand inherently, Josh. The NFL, I'll say the NBA, although the NBA playoffs have been kind of rough and the officiating has taken center stage for all the wrong reasons this year. They had basically the ghost referee wipe out a three-pointer in that Miami game last night. But I think in those cases, though, those leagues understand that stars are what matter. There's another thing here, too. There's another component. The owners run the leagues, right? Like ostensibly, those are the ones we get mad at. So the owners run the NFL. The owners run the NBA. Especially in the NFL, we know that the owners understand innately, that offense sells. Like people want to see points being scored, not points being prevented, no matter how much Joe Steeler fan loves the steel curtain of the 70s. That's just not the direction it's gone. There's one difference with hockey, Josh, and I know you know this, but I'll say it out loud anyway. The governors, the board of governors, the GMs run hockey. What do GMs want? A style of hockey that keeps them employed, which is inherently conservative, close checking, allows for a lot more physicality, inhibits stars. Like, there's a reason that GMs probably don't love the 80s when they go back and think about it. 7, 8 goals a game, Wayne Gretzky in his office doing whatever he wanted.
The 80s
as long
Islanders.
as the GMs, right, as long as the GMs run the NHL and decide how the league is going to contest its games and what those games will look like, this is what you're going to have, bottom line.
Couldn't say it any better myself. On that note, we will take a break. We got more calls and tweets to get to when we come back. We'll see it on the other side.